Hello everyone, welcome to Barod Bitesize, a series of bite-sized learning sessions as part of our Learning at Work Week celebration. In this session, we'll be looking at neurodivergence and substance use, why people with autism and ADHD use substances. So, what is Barod? Barod is the Welsh word for ready. We are a substance use charity based and operating across South Wales, and our aim is to support anyone ready to make a change and make a difference to their lives or to the lives of others. This means we provide high quality, free, and confidential support and guidance to anyone who is affected by drug or alcohol use, either their own or someone else's, and raising awareness about the ways we can all help to reduce the harm caused by substance use. So, what do we mean by the term substance use? In the past, you may have heard terms like substance misuse or substance abuse when talking about people who use drugs and alcohol. But we at Barod would like to start moving away from using phrases which carry emotionally loaded or negative connotations. As one of our many insightful youth ambassadors said, behind someone who uses substances is a human being with a life, and labels don't take you there, only to a negative place. We prefer to use the term substance use to describe anyone who is currently using drugs and or alcohol to help reduce the societal and self-imposed stigma. If you'd like to learn more about why language matters, we have a comprehensive terminology guide linked in the description of this video. In this bite-sized session, we will explore what is neurodiversity, autism and ADHD, and reasons why people with autism and ADHD might use substances. So what is neurodiversity? Neurodiversity is an umbrella term used for multiple neurological differences. It is also a concept that those neurological differences such as autism, ADHD, dyslexia, dyspraxia, and Tourette's are natural variations of the human brain and, rather than being viewed as something to be cured or fixed, should be recognised and respected as part of human diversity. Autism, or autism spectrum disorder as it's sometimes known, is a lifelong condition that affects how people communicate and interpret social interactions in society. It is not an illness or a disease, but a spectrum of differences, so everyone's experience with autism is different. Some autistic people may find it difficult to communicate or interact with people, find themselves overwhelmed or stressed or uncomfortable by bright lights or loud noises, become anxious or upset about unfamiliar situations or social events, have patterns of repetitive behaviour, or take slightly longer to process information. Autism is something people are born with and not a medical condition with treatments or a cure. But some people may need access to support to help with co-occurring conditions like depression and anxiety. What is ADHD? Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder, ADHD, or sometimes ADD if hyperactivity is less prevalent, is a neurological condition that affects primarily attention, hyperactivity, or impulsivity. There are ways to help manage the symptoms of ADHD. Some people with ADHD may experience being distracted or finding it difficult to listen to instructions, forgetting everyday tasks like brushing their teeth or washing dishes, having high energy levels or fidgeting a lot, making impulsive or dangerous decisions. Most people with ADHD have symptoms of both inactivity and hyperactivity, impulsive type. ADHD is believed to be recognised less often in girls than boys. However, an increasing number of women are being diagnosed with ADHD at a later stage in life. This may be because women and girls with ADHD more commonly have inattentive symptoms, and these can be harder to recognise or diagnose, with girls often being labelled as dreamers or in a world of their own. Why might people with autism or ADHD use substances? People with autism and ADHD may be more likely to use substances for several reasons, often related to their specific neurodevelopmental traits, but can also be influenced by a combination of personal, environmental, and social factors. Here are some of the key reasons why individuals with ADHD and or autism might use substances. Self-medication. Individuals with autism may struggle with sensory overload due to social anxiety or communication difficulties. Drugs or alcohol can be used to self-soothe or escape from overwhelming environments. Some people with autism may find alcohol or drugs particularly helpful to feel more relaxed or at ease in social situations. People with ADHD often experience symptoms like impulsivity, hyperactivity, and attention, or emotional dysregulation. For some, using drugs or alcohol can provide temporary relief from these symptoms, especially when they're feeling overwhelmed, stressed, or unable to focus. Emotional regulation. Both ADHD and autism can make it challenging to regulate emotions. Neurodivergent people might use drugs or alcohol as a way to temporarily numb or escape these intense feelings. Social isolation or peer pressure. Some people with autism may experience a sense of social isolation or struggle to make friends. This isolation can make them more susceptible to peer pressure, or they may experiment with substances as a way to feel accepted or more comfortable in a social setting. Many people with ADHD may experience feelings of loneliness, exclusion, or rejection. They might turn to substances to fit in or feel more connected to others, especially if they struggle with self-esteem or impulsivity. Impulsivity. Impulsivity is a core characteristic of ADHD, and as such, people with ADHD might be more likely to experiment with drugs or alcohol without fully considering the long-term consequences. Sensory processing issues. Many people with autism have sensory processing issues, meaning they may be more sensitive to light, sound, touch, smells, taste, etc. This can make certain environments like crowded places feel overwhelming. Drugs or alcohol might provide a way to cope with these sensory sensitivities and the distress they cause. Co-occurring conditions. ADHD and autism often co-occur with other mental health issues like anxiety, depression, or mood disorders. People might use substances as a coping mechanism if these co-occurring conditions aren't being managed or treated. Lack of support. People on the autism spectrum often face challenges in navigating a world that is not built with their needs in mind. The lack of understanding or support can lead to feelings of isolation, alienation, and depression, so substances might be used to cope with the social and environmental stresses they face. If someone with ADHD has no support, they might feel frustrated or misunderstood. The stress from not being able to meet expectations, whether at school, work, or interpersonal relationships, can lead to using substances as a way to escape from those feelings. Difficulty with routine. Many individuals with autism rely on routines and predictability. An unexpected or permanent disruption to those might make some people use substances as a way of regaining some control or being able to manage their anxiety. People with ADHD often have difficulty organizing and maintaining structure in their daily lives. They might use substances as a means of dealing with the stress and long-term impacts of general disorganization. While not all individuals with ADHD or autism will use substances, those who do may do so in an attempt to manage the complex social and emotional challenges associated with their conditions. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We hope you found it informative. We offer a range of training for external services, and if you're interested in learning more, please email us at training@barod.com. Please also follow us up for updates about what Barod is doing and updates on campaigns we support. Thank you again for watching.